Oh, hello there. This video is dedicated to figuring out stuff. All for the good of the RC community. All the time I see people talking about getting metal parts for added durability. So we're gonna find out if that's a good idea or not. I have two of the exact same trucks here. Same body, same transmitter, same everything. And I'll tell you now, these are good trucks. It's basically just a truck body on the highly praised MJX Hypergo. On one of them, I'm gonna put essentially all of the suspension and steering upgrades on it. Now that's if they turn out to be upgrades. The story goes that metal suspension parts are just gonna cause breakage to more expensive, harder to replace items. The chassis or bulkheads, for example. And yeah, of course, I'm also gonna put this metal stiffener plate under the chassis to really try and give it the best chance I can. Now yes, I am definitely on the side of it's probably not a good idea. Ultimately, I think we'll probably have a pretty clear answer. So just a quick what's under the shell here. Some flexible plastics, relatively flexible suspension, adjustable tie rods. I think these are 4400 kV motors, 45 amp ESC, heatsink, fan on the motor, servo saver. Nobody really liked this proprietary battery thing, so it's kind of a shame they kept that, but there are options to upgrade that if you want to. This does use a different receiver and transmitter than the MJXs do. That's a good thing. It does look like it uses the same oil-filled shocks as the MJX, except these are black instead of red. Okay, let me go ahead and show you some footage of this thing because it is a pretty awesome truck. And then we'll test the metal versus the plastic. Definitely looks just like the real Colorado though. It does say it's officially licensed by the Generitz Motors.
Well, can it clear it this way?
Yay! Nice. Absorbs that real good. And here she is on 3S.
Nice.
Oh, goose poop! Oh, God! Owie!
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so awesome. This drives really good. As you can see, the car really is not beat up at all. Everything's still in perfect shape. There's no cracks, there's no tears, all the arms are fine, but just in case, I'll use this one for all the metal pieces. Oh yeah, those are lightweight. I'm also gonna weigh them and see what the difference is after this. I don't know, they might bend pretty easy. Make sure you use Loctite on every single screw that goes in the metal. Oh yeah, blingity bling blang. Look at all that red aluminum goodness. Install this silly thing that really doesn't seem like it fits all that well. But hey, it had 5-star reviews last time I checked, so it must do something. Ooh, it's shiny. Sounds metallic. So let's talk about fit and function a little bit. This all went together pretty easily. You just have to use the fine threaded screws and Loctite. You do have to supply the Loctite, but all the hardware is in the bags. There is definitely some extra weight here, so I adjusted these rear shocks. The fronts are still fine. It's about even with its plastic counterpart. There's a bit of an odd camber thing going on these front tires, and no, those knuckles are not on the wrong wheel. For the rear shocks, I had to move them from the front of the rear shock tower to the rear of the rear shock tower. These rear body posts are a little bit on the loose side. If you're looking to get these metal parts for less play in the wheels and in the steering, you might want to halt the brakes on that a little bit. There is more play on the metal side than on the plastic side. None of these are perfect, and these aren't even that bad compared to even some of the more expensive cars, but it's just worth noting. Other than that, everything seems pretty solid so far.
Round 1.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. I didn't know this car could do that. A little bit bouncy. Oh! Pure raw horsepower. Ooh, clean.
Mud is pretty darn sticky today.
This one's staying planted a little better. Oh. So far, this one does seem to have better handling. Oh yeah, man, it does handle better. Oh. Nice. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, no, I think it was, yeah, nope, just the battery coming forward, binding up the linkage. We're good. Ooh. This one has started making a driveline noise. Huh, I don't know, I don't see anything. What'd you think of that? You like that front flip, dude?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, God.
Splashed you with some dirt, didn't I? Whoa, what was that? What a mess. I also just remembered I forgot to check the weights of these. So I have this scale zeroed out with this box on it. 2 pounds, 2 1/8, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. So just under 6 ounces more weight for all the metal. Now, so far, we've seen that may help with handling a little bit, at least in certain circumstances. It also seems to help a little bit with its rebound bounce on jumps, at least in the dirt. So now we're gonna do some jumps on concrete, well, asphalt. That rougher landing surface will probably help get us to our conclusion a bit faster. And then some controlled crashes. So we all know you're gonna crash your car. Now first, we have to address a few things. Even though I Loctited all of these, some of the screws have started backing out. So on further investigation, I'm actually finding out that these screws did not loosen up. Instead, it looks like this mounting point has widened a little bit, as in this part of the knuckle has bent a little bit, and this rear body post assembly has bent. Oh, and we lost the base to our receiver. It's not there anymore. I don't know where it's gone. The plastic one is still stuck down.
Round 2.
No self-riding on 2S. All right, a couple controlled crashes here, 3 different angles, and then we'll do this same thing to the metal one.
Well, a wheelie isn't gonna help.
Back to the metal one.
Ding!
Dinner's ready. Order up.
Oh! Oh! Oh no! Man, that's not what I expected at all. Don't worry, we're not done. But it broke the axle.
We landed like this, and that knuckle was able to hyper steer, and that was further than this axle can flex. Now that has never happened to me on one of these, and that was a relatively minor crash. So I've got some thoughts. First, I am gonna replace the axle, and then we're gonna continue this test.
Haven't used my world famous suspension tester in a while. No more crashes. Okay, just one more. Oh. What? We got a clearly sheared bumper. All right, time for our crash tests. We're missing our bumper now. Uh-oh, something happened.
The left front knuckle was bent earlier. Now we've bent the right front knuckle enough to where it actually rubs on the tire. And that's why this tire isn't spinning freely.
Let's see what happens when we try to bend it back. Screw's a little bent too.
Yeah, you can see how overly stretched that right side is there, the bottom side. It's definitely weakened and already wasn't very hard to bend in the first place. Round 3, round 4, whichever round this is, I'm gonna toss some 3S batteries in it. Just jump them, just send them on the ramp as fast as I can. I'm gonna try to land everything, but that's not gonna happen. One of these cars is gonna destroy itself before the other one.
Round 3.
All right, this is gonna be the final round. Hey, we landed something. And my battery strap broke. Oh man. Oh, down to one body clip. All right, we're back on red. It's not ringing at all because of that battery strap. We're running rough again. More knuckle problems. Ugh. I'll be honest, this is doing better than I thought it would.
So yeah, it seems like this experiment went somewhat like I thought it would, but not exactly. Obviously, the metal one is much more beat up, and it took less jumps than I did this one on before that happened. All that I pretty much expected. I think most of you probably did too. Even the body is in worse shape. Completely blew out a rear shock, messed up this right rear hub really bad, and there are certainly problems in the front as well. Bent that hub again, but here's where things get interesting. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like we have any cracked bulkheads or Cracked chassis doesn't seem like it so far. But anyway, it's not usually that the metal bends, it's what the metal bolts to that usually breaks. Because what happens is, since the metal itself doesn't flex... That is some thunder. I'm editing and I had to come back out to add a few things. What happens is, since the metal itself doesn't flex easily, it puts all the strain on the part that metal is bolted to. So the fact that these plastic ears didn't break off is pretty astounding. I've never had one of these bumpers do that. I want to say the plastic took some harder nosedives than this did, and the bumper is still with us. So on the plastic car, we have one cracked wheel, right there. Cracked on this side also, but that is the only cracked wheel. On this one, all four are cracked. One crack, two cracked, three cracked. Oh, my bad, just three. Three of them. This one's still good. Looks like a good amount of damage back here. Bent upper control arm. This screw head snapped off and the screw bent. Something going on here too. Okay, so this one, screw just loosened up. This right rear arm is slightly bent a little bit too. So no bent tie rods. The steering linkage still moves smoothly, even though that's where a lot of the play is, you know, causing that. The shock towers are looking good. So the metal itself actually did pretty okay. And after just a couple of jumps, even when we were still on the baseball field, that car just seemed to diminish in quality really fast. Because with those metal parts, it's gonna get shocked. The whole car is just gonna get shocked and shaken around a lot more. This one felt exactly the same the entire time. We kind of got proof of that with that receiver popping off early on. We had to fix something between almost every single round. This one we never had to fix anything, but we did break the wheelie bar and cracked one wheel. Our receiver popped open, but the base is still in place. Wheels all roll smoothly. Again, we do have one cracked one. Bumper is not broken or cracked anywhere. Wheelie bar is another story. That's the only damage. Everything else looks practically flawless for what it just went through. And keep in mind too that these were purposeful tests and I was being ridiculously stupidly hard on both of these cars, and the metal actually did way better than I thought it would. So I'm gonna give you my recommendation here. Do I recommend this truck? Yeah, if you're wanting a 16th scale monster truck basher type thing, heck yeah, this thing's awesome. Obviously, there's a lot of different body styles you can get, but I'll link this dude in the description. Do I recommend the metal parts? Yes and no. Remember, what you see here is fresh. We broke an axle earlier. I am pretty confident that would not have happened on the plastic car. Again, with that said, I'm very surprised that we don't have a cracked bulkhead or a chassis. I will pop this cover off to inspect under there. I would say that I do recommend knuckles. Even though we had these two front ones bend on us, it would be a lot less likely for that to happen if you still had plastic control arms that they were attached to. The other issue with the knuckles though is that's probably what's causing the odd camber. In fact, right here, I've actually got this amazing car here that I've installed some metal knuckles on. Now these knuckles are actually sold by the same company that makes this car, so they're definitely a bit higher quality. Also, it does seem like the shock towers are a pretty good idea to go metal. Not the body posts, but the shock towers. I don't think I would recommend this bottom brace. Again, that's gonna take away some of the flex too that it's designed to have, and I definitely don't recommend the arms. And for the price, these parts might be worth it if that's what you want, and especially if you're just looking for the metallic look, because it does look good. Yep. The chassis is perfect. But reinforcing what I already thought, I would keep metal to a minimum. I hope you found this video informating.